Welcome. So today's practice is going to be restorative yoga, and we'll be working with the chair. So make sure you have a chair handy. If you haven't got a chair, maybe you can use your settee, but you won't be able to do some of the postures. The reason I'm going to do restorative yoga is because I'm in need of restorative yoga. Overnight, my stomach has swollen, and it's obviously given me cause for concern. So I'm going to be working with restorative for myself and offering the practice to you. Maybe you're stressed, worried about something. The restorative yoga practice is very, very simple. We just work with some nice forward bends, supported by the chair. Forward bends are very soothing and very calming to our system. So without any further information, we're going to have a cushion as well. Hopefully you have a cushion because some of you may want to sit on that cushion. And then we're going to find the chair. And the first forward bend will be straddled. So we'll just open the legs nice and wide as it feels appropriate to us. Please feel free to sit on a cushion. And then we're just going to softly release our head to the chair. We take 3 calming breaths. So take a long, deep inhale through the nostrils and a long exhale through the mouth. Long, deep inhale through the nostrils and a long exhale through the mouth. And one more long, deep inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. And now just go back to natural breathing. That was called the centering breath. We're just settling ourselves now into our posture. We're going to be in these postures for 3 or 4 minutes. Bring your awareness to your spine. If you feel that it needs a cushion, then certainly pop that cushion under your buttocks and settle back into the posture. And when we're anxious or worried, I often refer to Buddha. And Buddha offers us the knowledge of dukkha and sukha. So dukkha is 6 things. Dukkha is birth. Imagine the pain of birth as you enter into the earth. Dukkha is aging. Dukkha is sickness or illness. Dukkha is also death. Dukkha is also getting things you don't want and not getting the things that you do want. And these 6 things are all the facts of life. They occur to everybody. That's life. But how we react to the arising of dukkha is called suffering. And the Buddha explains suffering is optional. So sometimes when things go wrong in our lives, and lots of things going wrong in our lives at the moment with COVID, finances, all sorts of different worries, possible illness. We're experiencing that right at the moment. But suffering is optional, the Buddha says. So we don't add to this dukkha by the what ifs. Sometimes when we have a problem, we enlarge that in our mind and we start to make our own little movie like, well, what if he says that, or what if she says that? What if I lose my job? What if, what if? And that's what we call suffering. We're adding to the dukkha. We can't change what's happened in our lives. We can change our reaction to it. So when we have problems or worries or illness, let's try not to add any more dukkha to that. Let's try not to add any more suffering to that. And that's why restorative yoga is beautiful, because we can come back to our place of stillness, our place of finding the breath. And again, in the forward bends, soothing the body, soothing the nervous system. So one more minute in this posture. Very slowly rise. And we're just going to cross the right foot in front of the left. And again, you're going to be seated on your cushion. Sometimes when you have cross-legged, it's much nicer if you are on a cushion. And if this doesn't feel appropriate to you, you can have long legs in front of you. So we want to be fairly comfortable to settle into our forward bend. And then we just rest into it. Take a long, deep inhale through the nostrils. Open the mouth, exhale. Take a long, deep inhale through the nostrils. Open the mouth, exhale. One more. And then settle into your forward bend. Finding that stillness. One more minute. And slowly we'll rise. And we'll just change the position so the left's in front of the right. And again, you can have long legs through the chair. Release into the forward bend, that calming, soothing posture. 3 breaths, centering the breath. Long, deep inhale. Open the mouth, hard breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then relax into your forward bend. Calming and soothing. The Buddha has another word, sukha. And sukha means happiness, pleasure, joy, bliss. Well, the good news is that the path of yoga is the path of sukha. If you're practicing your yoga regularly, yoga brings more and more sukha into our lives. Because practicing it helps us to understand the nature of suffering. We also become more mindful in our lives, bringing much more sukha into our lives. So a good way to imagine dukkha is a very miserable, rainy day, black clouds everywhere. And as you look up, it's quite depressing. But beyond those black clouds is a beautiful blue sky. And it's always there. We just have to find it. And that is sukha. So wherever you're having a dukkha moment and adding to the problems by the what ifs and the worries and shall I or shan't I, start to think more about sukha, all the joyous things we have in our lives that sometimes we ignore when we have problems. And maybe for the next couple of minutes, think about all those joyous things that you have in your lives. Family, friends, food you enjoy, the walks you enjoy, being out in nature. Maybe you have a beautiful pet. There are so many, many things in our lives that bring us joy. And we should always turn to the joy and bring more sukha into our lives. One more minute. We have 5 simple rules for us to be happy in our lives, for achieving more sukha. Free your heart from hatred. Free your mind from worries. Live simply. Give more and expect less. These 5 simple rules for happiness will bring much more sukha into our lives. Allowing the body to rise now. And our next posture will be a restorative posture. You can choose to use the chair if you want to. You're going to go into a little bit of an inversion. Your cushion is underneath your head. And you're just simply going to take the back of the knees to the chair. And lay down. Plop the cushion underneath your head. And this is quite a restorative posture, but if it's not for you, then just take your legs off the chair and lay down on your back and have a nice long-legged Shavasana posture. When the legs are raised above the heart slightly, we have an inversion, which is giving the heart a well-earned rest. I'm hoping you have a comfortable chair as I have. You can always pop your legs up on the settee and have your buttocks quite close to the edge of the settee. And you can always have cushions or blankets on your chair to make it a lot more comfortable. And now we're just going to rest for as long as we like. And as we rest, we're going to bring our attention to our breath. And we're going to practice something called pranayama. It's just a little breath technique which will calm the mind, calm the breath, and calm the body. It's a simple breathing technique. So you'll inhale for a count of 4. Pause the breath, 2, and exhale for a count of 6. So in your own rhythm, inhaling for 4, pause for 2, and exhale for 6. So continue for a few more rounds. And then release that pranayama and just go back to your natural rhythm of breath. But try to keep your focus on your breath. The more we focus on the breath, the more the mind will calm. those worries or problems do arise in your mind, just acknowledge them. Come back to the breath, the inhaling and the exhaling. Stay here for as long as you like. Namaste.